All right. So first of all, guys, thank you so much for being here. I don't want to take up too much of your time. The reason for this meeting is really just kind of for everybody to have a chance. I know we have a lot of new teachers. Admittedly, it's few of the new teachers who had other commitments today. And so I know we have a mix of new teachers. We have a mix of teachers who have been with us for a long time. And I just kind of want to have a chance, just have a brief meeting to go through what arrival is going to look like into Honduras, what things are looking like, and just kind of where things are at. So, what this meeting is not going to be is like for me to sit down with each one of you and say, here's exactly the books you're teaching, and here's how you're going to teach those books. That's not what this meeting's about. I will be trying to kind of work through a few of those different types of things with some of the teachers, and I know people will be in touch with you about those kinds of things and housing and things. I know there's things like that that are going to come up, and you may have individual questions. And so do know that I want to tackle those, and we will get to those at a point, but we're not going to have a big, huge meeting when we tackle those kinds of things. Otherwise, we'd literally probably be here from 8 in the morning until 8 at night. And so that's not the point of this meeting. The point of this meeting, especially for the new teachers. I know there's some of you guys who are sitting in this meeting. I know Cassie's in Honduras already. I know Hennessy's is in Honduras already. You guys are sitting there and you're like, we're already here. And you guys are just being good sports and saying, I appreciate especially for the new teachers being like, hey, we're here already. Things are okay. And I just really appreciate you guys being here for that. But especially for the new teachers, I want to take people through and just kind of give you an idea of what's coming up. Okay. And I want to talk you through it. Now, I did send out meeting notes for this. The reason I did that is because I try to not make my meetings be super long. Like I'm not here to take up your whole night. I know it's 9 o'clock already in the Eastern time zone, half hour, and I want to be done is really kind of my goal. And so really my goal is just to kind of bring you through what it's going to look like when you arrive, what expectations are going to be when you get here, just so that you kind of know the plan. Okay. Now, especially for new teachers, I do also want to just show you, there's just a few really quick things I just kind of want to show you as well. Some of the returning teachers are going to say, hey, Jake, I knew this already. I get it. I do. But I want to just show this for anybody who's maybe not flown a lot, maybe hasn't done some of the different things, just so that you kind of know what's coming up. So know that this is just a meeting, just in terms of what am I doing really? It's kind of like what am I committing myself to, and what kind of trouble am I going to get myself into? And so I want to just be there to help you through it. Okay. So I am going to be sharing my screen just a little bit with you guys, just so you don't have to see my face this whole time. And so I'm going to be sharing my screen so that you guys can kind of just see some of the instructions. Some of you guys might have read it over. I do want to just kind of elaborate on a few things just so that you guys hear me say it. It's easy for me to send a piece of paper out and just say like, hey, this is what's going on. But I want to talk you through it. That's part of my job. That's what I want to do. I want you guys to feel as comfortable as possible. So a lot of you guys, I've already bought your plane tickets, right? You've already got your plane tickets. You guys are feeling like, all right, he's got my plane tickets. I'm going down there. This is actually going to happen. And so we've got your plane tickets. Most of you guys are arriving into Honduras on August 4th. There are a couple of you here that I know are arriving a little bit later, that are arriving just a few days later, around August 10th or so. I know I do have a few teachers like that. Know that, so some of these things will be a little bit different for you, and I will of course help you through that. But I want to take you through, there are some big points that I do think are important for everybody that I kind of go through. So I want you to know this first of all. We're going to be arriving August 4th. There's going to be a few of you are arriving in the afternoon that I know I've put you on a flight. So just so you know, I wanted to let you guys know what's going on behind the scenes with me, okay? I have a 1-year-old, okay? I have a 1-year-old. On August 4th, I fly in as well, okay? On August 4th, I fly in as well. I fly in at 11:20 in the morning. So I come in on the first flight. We're going to stay the night in Houston the day before. And so we're going to be flying at 11:20. We haven't fully decided if my wife and my baby will be with me directly. There's a chance my baby could be waving at you when you get off the airplane. I'm not 100% sure. But most likely we might try to get her back to Yaramangila, but I will be there. I come in at 11:20. The next flight, there are some of you who are flying directly from Newark down to Honduras. There are some of you who are coming in on that afternoon flight. I would be there waiting for you. And then there's going to be a flight in the evening. The majority of the teachers are coming in on the flight on the evening. Okay, you guys are coming in the evening. You'll get in a little after 9 o'clock at night. All teachers are going to be at a hotel that first night. We're not trying to do all the traveling in one go. We've done that before in the past, and it was just with the way flights were working. There were quite a few of you who I was flying out of airports that are just smaller this year. And so in order to do that, in order to coordinate it, I had to bring people in on that night flight. And so just know that I will be there. Now, what does it mean for me to be there? This is one change, and I want to point this out. Normally, pretty much immediately when you walk through customs, pretty much immediately, we're like there waving at you saying, hey, we're here to get you. When you walk through customs, you're going to come into the main airport area. Now, this airport is not that big. It's pretty small. And you're just going to keep walking forward. Okay, you're going to keep walking forward. Now, especially for the teachers that are flying together, I can kind of let people know just so you guys can maybe even kind of go through customs together and stuff like that. Just so you know kind of who's coming in on what flight. I can let you know that. But I would recommend kind of go through customs together, walk through the airport together. It makes it a lot less scary. That's just the reality of it. It just makes it a lot less scary. And so then once you're going to keep walking forward, there's going to be big doors that lead to the outside of the airport. That's where we're going to be. Due to COVID restrictions, at this point, we cannot enter the airport, okay? It's that way at a lot of airports right now around the world. It's not just Honduras, but that is the way that it is. And we'll be there waving, trying to make sure we've got your attention. There is normally kind of a weak signal of Wi-Fi in the airport as well. And so I'll get to my next points talking about WhatsApp and things like that. And then you could be even in contact with me as you're going through, just to help you make you feel comfortable, okay? And so know that we'll be waiting outdoors. We're not gonna be waiting right after customs, okay? And so just to point that out, I just want teachers not to all of a sudden get worried, all of a sudden we're not there right after customs and we're not waiting there. You're gonna walk through the outside doors and that's where we will be. I want to also note this, okay? A lot of teachers had questions about this, okay? And I want to explain this to you, okay? I want to explain this just for your understanding. It's not because we're doing anything wrong. It's just for your understanding. So, especially for new teachers, when you come into Honduras, you are arriving on a 90-day tourist visa is what you're going to be arriving on, okay? Now, when airlines, it's not going to be Honduras that's going to look at it. It's actually going to be the airlines who are going to look at it. And they're going to say that we want you to have a return ticket or proof of onward passage, they're going to call it, that comes back before 90 days, okay? So most of you have your tickets and you're going to see that I scheduled your date for October 27th, okay? I scheduled your date for October 27th. And if the reason I did that is because it's within 90 days. Okay, so the airlines shouldn't have any questions for you. Okay, it's within 90 days. They shouldn't have any questions for you. And then once you get into the country and you get your residency card, you're going to get a card that has a residency. It's going to have your picture on it. It's going to say you're a resident of Honduras for all practical purposes. It'll actually be a missionary kind of resident. Then you can travel with that. And then that 90 days becomes less important. Okay, then that 90 days becomes less important. However, initially, it is important that I do this for you. Okay, it is important that I do this for you. Once you arrive, we're going to get your paperwork started. I'm going to send you an email and I'm going to say, when do you want to change your flight dates for? When do you want to fly back? And I'm going to ask you, and then we're going to change it. If there's any change fees, I'm going to take care of it. Don't worry about it, okay? But if the airline says, when are you flying back? If they ask you, when are you flying back? Please just say my return ticket is October 27th at this point. That's what I have at October 27th at this point. That's my return at this point. They shouldn't even ask. It shouldn't flag it or anything like that. If they were to ask at this point, it's October 27th. Once you have residency, you can be in the country as long as you want. Like I said, it isn't going to be Honduras that's going to ask you. When you're here entering into Honduras, they're not even going to ask. However, it is when you initially check into the airline. That's when they will ask, or that's when they're going to check over paperwork, okay? And so I just want to let you know because I did have some questions from teachers. So that's not your real return date. Don't worry, we're going to change it. But this means you shouldn't have any issues in the airport. Believe me, in the past, I've learned. I've had a few 3 a.m. phone calls from teachers saying, hey, they're not letting me board my flight because I didn't have a return ticket or things like that. And so we're solving the problem. Okay, that's what we're doing. So know that I'm doing my best to take care of everything so that it's as easy as possible. I know there's plenty of things for you to already worry about. Okay, so I want to explain that so that way you understand why it is that we do it that way. Please know we're not doing anything sketchy. I work with a United travel agent, and he's the one who tells me this is how I'm supposed to do it. Okay, please know we're not doing anything wrong. I book everything through United travel agents. I do everything by the book. Next, another thing that I want to recommend to you is just this. I would recommend that you all download WhatsApp. Okay, I'd recommend that you all download it. Here in Honduras, people pretty much live by WhatsApp. Okay, people pretty much live by WhatsApp. It is like you don't live in this country without WhatsApp. It's just the reality of it. Like when people want to hang out with you, they're going to WhatsApp you. They're not going to call you. They're just going to WhatsApp you. Okay. And so if they have to call you, you might just not get invited, you know? So like have WhatsApp. It's very normal. Okay. It's what everybody uses. And even a lot of your schools are going to be using WhatsApp. They'll probably communicate through WhatsApp and things like that. You can just, it's available for Android, it's available for smartphones, whatever, Apples, it's available for everything. You can use your US number, it's fine for now when you use WhatsApp. But I do recommend that you have it. One of the reasons why is you can, if you have any problems with flights, okay, you have a flight that's canceled, flight delayed, anything like that, we pray doesn't happen, okay? We pray that it doesn't happen. But if it does, you can just get on your phone and say, Jake, my flight got canceled. I'm coming in at this time. I just want to let you know. And I say, thank you for letting me know. You can also use email. I will be checking my email like it's my job because it is my job. But know that WhatsApp is the fastest. I can communicate with you very quickly. You can even be communicating with other teachers. I can pass around numbers and things like that if you want. It is kind of the way of Honduras. It is kind of the way. So I do want to show you at the bottom of this message, you might see this. I put my QR code for WhatsApp here. You can add me, you can just like take like a little thing. It should be in all of your emails. I sent this all to everybody. You can just zap it or whatever you do, use your camera, and then it should bring it up and you should have my contact, okay? And then I might pass along some other contacts to you as well. And pass your contact along to other people at the school as well, just so that they can reach you as well, okay? So that's what it is a little bit with WhatsApp. Please get it ahead of time. It'll make things easy. You'll feel like you're in better communication, okay? All right, now point number 3, all right? Point number 3, I know that the whole COVID thing, and especially the vaccines, is like some political bombshell. In Honduras, it's not as much, I know, but in the States, I know it is, okay? I really do. And so know that this is not me making some political statement. That's not at all what this is. I'm just, we're not making anything mandatory, but I do want to talk you through where COVID is in Honduras currently. And just so that I give you all of the information, okay? That's all I'm here to do, is provide all of the information, okay? In regard to COVID vaccines, ALCS, we're strongly recommending that you get them before you come to Honduras. I know many of you have already told me and said, yes, we've got it. I know there's 1 or 2 of you who said, Jake, we're not going to get it. I understand that. However, as a school, we just want to say that we recommend that you do. In Honduras, COVID is very much around, okay? It is very much around. It is a reality of the country at this point. It is a reality here in the States, but the difference between Honduras and the States is vaccine rates. In Honduras, we're at about 10 to 15% vaccine population at this point, so it is a lower amount. Our staff of our schools at this point have just received their first doses. Our Honduran staff have just received their first doses. Last week and this week, they've been receiving their first doses. And so it is something that is getting rolled out. And like I've told teachers, it is something that is part of things. However, it is around, and we've had teachers get COVID. We've had, it is something that is around. And so, and exact like numbers pinpointing, you know, how many cases are there, how many cases aren't there. It's always a little hard to tell. Honduras doesn't have all the, you know, crazy amounts of testing, and especially the rapid fire testing that is in the States. And so we believe as a school, it's best for you to get the vaccines. That's what we believe. It'll reduce your chances of getting anything severe. That's our opinion. However, each person makes their individual choice. Okay, that is what each teacher does, and that's your choice. But we strongly believe it's best that you do get vaccinated. Okay. Now, here's one thing that is important. Okay, and this is something that is important to know. If you are fully vaccinated, what does fully vaccinated mean? Okay, fully vaccinated means you had both shots 2 weeks before you enter the country. Okay, if you had both of your shots at least 2 weeks before you enter the country, you don't need to get the COVID test to enter the country. Okay, you don't need to get that, which is extremely nice. At the airport, you should just be able to show your little vaccine card and say, hey, here's my vaccine card. They check it over, they make sure the dates are good, and they let you on the airplane. That's nice. Okay, that is super nice. All right. And so that's a change that's happened in about the last month. That's happened. That is only about in the last month that's taken place. But at this point, I've heard of a lot of people going through that way, so I'm pretty confident that that shouldn't be an issue for you. If you have not been vaccinated, or you are you get vaccinated, let's say your second dose is within 2 weeks of your departure, then it is very important that you get tested. You need to have a negative COVID test. Okay, you're going to need to have a negative COVID test, and so that needs to be within 3 days of your arrival into the country. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, let me explain that. If you arrive into Honduras on, let's say, on October 5th at 2 in the afternoon, you need to make sure that on October 2nd, your test is after 2 in the afternoon. Okay, I'd even recommend maybe getting it on August 3rd, just to make sure that you've had no problems. Okay, and so getting, like, you can get a rapid test. It doesn't have to be PCR, it could be the rapid test. They are pretty flexible on it, but it is going to be important that you do that. You're going to need to have the documentation in hand when you come into the country. Okay, you're going to need to have that documentation when you come in country. So please make sure you have that ready, and that is done. Okay, that's something that you will have to take care of on your side of things. Okay, and so I've had a few people that I've known, not teachers, but a few people that I've known who they flew in, they arrived into Honduras at 2, and they got their test done at 1 in the afternoon, and the airline said, within 3 days, and the airlines, let's say it was October 2nd at 1 in the afternoon, or August 2nd at 1 in the afternoon, the airline gave them the big no. And so please, I would recommend doing the rapid and getting it done just a day or two ahead of time. It just keeps the process a lot simpler. And so just so you know, that's where we're at there. Okay. Now, letter C. Currently, due to U.S. regulation, upon departure from Honduras, this is U.S. regulation. If you're flying from Honduras to the U.S., okay, from Honduras to the U.S., you will need to have a COVID test. It doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or not, okay? So when you fly into Honduras, your vaccine card is enough. When you fly from Honduras back to the States, at this point, you do need to be tested. I'm hoping that that starts to get waived. I do think it's very possible that that starts to change. But at this point, that is something you do need to have. I can tell you in La Esperanza, where Llano Manguila, La Esperanza, where I live, we can just do it in town there. It's not a big deal. They provide all the documentation. We take it. The honest truth is the people who do the test have their kids in our school. They're like, yeah, no problem. We'll do it for you whenever you want. You know, just send it, come by. You know, it's how our schools are. And so there's always people willing to help out. And so we can help organize those kinds of things for you. But all I'm doing is I want to give you all the information, just so you know. Okay. At this point, hopefully none of you are planning on flying out. Like, you know, we fly in on, you know, August 5th and we're like, I'm planning on leaving August 10th already. Hopefully it's not like that. But I just want to let you know what it looks like. Okay. So that's just the scenario of where Honduras is with COVID as far as testing and what is required to get into the country at this point. Okay. So that's where we are there. Now, currently we are planning this, we're up to point 4, okay, point 4. Currently we are planning on an online start to the school year. That is what we're looking at this point. There was movement in the direction of getting to be more in person, especially with the teachers getting the vaccines. There was movement to going that direction. And then this whole Delta variant kind of started coming out, and the government kind of started to say, we're getting a little worried again. And so either way, there was movement towards it, and then they kind of pulled back a little bit. We are looking at an online start to the school year. That is what we're looking at. Just so you guys know, all new staff will be receiving an ALCS email address. Returning staff, I know we didn't give you one last year. We weren't nearly as organized. And so, yeah, some of you guys are gonna be like, wow, ALCS is organized. And some of the returning teachers are gonna be like, no. We saw what a little bit of disorganization looked like. And so we are gonna give you ALCS email addresses. We don't want to make you use all your personal email addresses with students and things like that. Even though a lot of our teachers have, we wanna just have you have a professional looking email address. And we're gonna be setting up a login for Canvas, our learning management system. We're gonna try to provide a little short kind of online training. Once again, it's almost impossible for me to get everybody here. And so we might do it with who can make it at some point and then send out videos, at least so you guys kind of understand the basics. Know that when we do get in person, that will be a big focus of what we're kind of trying to handle in person as well. Hopefully we'll try to do this either after July 20th or so, or a few of our administrators, we've been kind of wrapping up the last school year and trying to kind of bring it into this school year. And so we're just kind of transitioning right now with some of our network administrators that way. So one thing that's really cool, just for new teachers, I just want to say this just so that you guys hopefully can take a deep breath and say, you know, we'll be okay. We built out a ton of material last year, okay? We built out a ton of material. We have, let's say you're teaching 3rd grade. We have 3rd grade teachers from 6 different schools, and we can essentially pick the teacher that did it best and provide you that material that they've created, Google Slides, things like that, and just pretty much give you a dump of material that they've done ahead of time. Now, that doesn't mean, what I don't want you to hear, there's always gonna be somebody who hears me wrong and says, Jake, are you gonna tell me exactly what I have to teach and you're gonna tell me I can't be creative myself? And there's gonna be somebody who's gonna come to me and say that. That's not what I'm saying. But believe me, I wanna save you a lot of work, okay? I wanna save you a lot of work. I wanna allow you to have a chance to breathe and say, we're gonna be okay. And I wanna give you a chance to do that. So there will probably be a point where we try to offer you some material. I would encourage you not to say that ALCS is trying to, like, you know, just take over my teaching and things like that. But if a teacher already created a bunch of Google Slides or whatever they might be for the material that you're teaching, and it makes it so that instead of having to do 2 hours of work to create that, and you can just edit a few things and make it a little bit how you want to teach it, please don't see that as us trying to be like, you know, we're trying to overreach, but more just like, we're just trying to support you guys. It's a lot. And so know that we know you guys are good teachers. It isn't a question of that. It isn't a question of whether you're adequate. It isn't a question of anything like that. It's really just a question of, we know you guys are going to be coming to a new country. We know you're going to be living in a new place. We know that teaching online for some of you might be totally new. And if this is something that we can do to help and at least take some of it off, and if you choose at the end of the day to ignore a lot of it, you can, you're the teacher, but hopefully it does take a lot of the work off of your shoulders. It'll feel like you have just kind of some material to go off of. So know that we will try to do that. It probably won't be in the next 2 days, but it will be as we get closer to the school year here, okay? So now I do wanna just talk through one thing here as well, okay? And that's this. I have some teachers that think when I buy your plane ticket for you, that ALCS does something like magical with your plane ticket, and like you can't really see it, and you just have to trust that it's there, and like just like ALCS is just kind of like, you know, just playing with things. Okay, it's not that way at all. I wanna just show you guys something super quick. This will just take 1 second. Every one of you has full access to your tickets, okay? I just wanna show you this really, really quick. I'm gonna jump into something really, really quick. Let me share my screen with you. And so I've booked pretty much everybody through United at this point, okay? If you just click on my trips and then you just click on like find a trip here, okay, and you click on find a trip, you can put, now I'm in mine, but you can, I'm signed into my Mileage Plus, but you can put in your confirmation number and last name and you have full access to your trip, okay, full access. You can pick the seats you want. If you say, hey, Jake, I'm flying into Honduras. I want to be in the window. I want to see Honduras as I'm flying in. Go for it. Totally cool. I have no problem with that. Have fun with it. Okay. If you want to, if you want to put yourself next to some of the other teachers, you want to talk and you put yourself next to some of the other teachers, totally cool. Admittedly, I haven't had the chance to dive into each one of your tickets individually and like just, like micromanage everything. I haven't had that chance, but know that there isn't some magical formula that I'm doing, okay? This is, you have the ticket, you can jump into it, you can put your confirmation, last name there, you can make sure that it's all there. I think it should even probably appear into your Mileage Plus account. If you sign into it, it should kind of appear there. And so I just wanna let you know that we're not doing anything like crazy and like you have your ticket, we bought it for you. But it is there. If for any reason you need to change something, like, listen, it's your ticket at this point. I want to, we're here to, it's what we do. And so I just wanted to show you this, not because of anything other than, I just want you guys to know that the ticket is there. If you want to change your seats, cool, go for it. If you want to just review your flight itinerary, if you want to print things out, you can print things out as you go forward. You can do that, okay? And so just know that, okay? I just wanted to show you that just so that you're aware of that, okay? And so, yeah, let me go back here, okay? We will, I know there's been questions about baggage and things like that. We will be reimbursing. I know some teachers are like, I want to take down 10 suitcases. Please don't take down 10. You don't need 10 suitcases. I know some teachers are like, I get by with one, I'm totally good. I don't need that much. I know I have teachers that bring down different amounts of things. We will be, ALCS, we bought your ticket. We will be reimbursing your first check bag when you get down. Normally what we do is we make a deposit into your bank account once you're already there. If there are any teachers that say, Jake, I can't figure this out. It makes me super worried. Talk to me. We're going to help you. We're going to do what we can. I'll try to figure out how I can buy it for you online if I have to. I'll do what I can. Admittedly, I just don't know how everybody comes to the airports. I just don't want there to be issues. Once in a while, I've tried to do things ahead of time and the airline's like, oh, we didn't receive it and it's not there. And it gets really kind of confusing. I get 3 a.m. phone calls over things like that. And so, I just want to let you guys kind of know, we would reimburse you. I know with our plane ticket, we just bought it for you. Hopefully it's okay. Obviously it's a smaller cost that we would just reimburse you. But like I say, if there are any issues, talk to me. I'm going to help you. I'm going to do what I can to help. Okay. Please don't worry. We're here to support you in whatever way we can. Okay. Next, just quick note, we're currently looking at our first day of teaching, August 18th. And then we will at some point be looking at housing preferences as well. We will be looking at housing preferences, kind of what you're looking at. It may not always be me you're meeting with housing. For example, if you live in Gracias, it may be with Christy or Neftali, just because they help handle it more. If it's in Yaramangila, it will be with me. One note, Sarah, after this meeting, can you stay here with me just for a sec so I can talk to you about housing just real quick after the meeting? And
Sure.
yeah, so I actually have a little bit of information for you specifically that I want to talk you through, just kind of run you through a little bit of the different options there as well. So yeah, so just stick with me after the meeting just for like 5 minutes, Sarah, okay? So other than that, that is essentially what arrival into the country is going to look like, okay? Now, there's a few questions of like, what's the first day is going to be like, Jake? What are we doing to do? All right, so I have, in my opinion, it's great news, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be totally transparent with you guys, all right? We're going to do training in a place we've never done it before. It's an awesome place. It's like magical. It's Yaramangila. I know not all of you are there. But it's in Yaramangila. It's where I live. I'm not gonna lie. Part of it is because I have a 1-year-old. I'm not gonna lie. Part of it is because I have a 1-year-old. So please understand that. Another part of it is just because a lot of times Christy Hopkins helps a lot with a lot of our training. The honest truth is her son is going to college for the first time. And so she's going to be going to university to drop him off during a couple of those days. And so she'll be missing some of training. And so for me, selfishly, I'm doing training in Yaramangila. It's awesome. Don't worry about it. We're going to eat some great food. I'll make sure we eat some great food. I'll make sure we take care of you guys. Our campus is beautiful. For those of you who are in Yaramangila, it'll give you a chance to get a little bit acquainted. For those of you guys who are in Gracias or Santa Rosa, know that it's just a good chance for you to see a new city, you know, for a little bit and check it out for a little bit. You get to start your traveling just a little bit. You know, we gotta see the sights. So no, we will be doing it in Yaramangila this year. And it won't be super long, so please don't worry. I know also we have a teacher from Choluteca. Know that we're bringing you to one of the coolest areas so that I can bring you down, and then you'll go down and you'll feel the warmth of Choluteca. So you're gonna see the two different sides of Honduras a little bit. You're gonna go from the mountain air down to the ocean air. So you go down between the two. So either way, we are going to be doing Yaramangila this year, just so that you guys are aware. I wanna, before I go into I had one other point that I just thought of. I always have like a couple teachers that are like not overly, you're just like uber responsible, okay? And you're like, all right, Jake, I'm thinking out Christmas already. There's going to be a few of you who've already been like, I've been looking at plane tickets for Christmas, okay? A few of you are going to tell me, Jake, that's not true. And a few of you are going to be like, yep, that's me. That was me. And so the thing is this, before I would always say 100% of the time, just fly out of San Pedro. Okay. I would say fly out of San Pedro Sula is pretty much what I would always say. However, there's going to be a change this year, and not a change for a bad thing, or actually a really good thing, I think, overall. Honduras has always had 2 airports. Okay. It's always had 2 airports. And they've had the airport in San Pedro Sula, and then they've had the airport in Tegucigalpa. Now, Tegucigalpa always tends to be more expensive. If you look up some of the most dangerous runways in the world, Tegucigalpa is typically on that list. And so teachers are always a little nervous about flying out of Tegucigalpa, especially because it's more expensive. Travel times tend to be a little bit more and things like that. However, according to Honduras, and they've been building a huge new international airport for Tegucigalpa, okay, for Tegucigalpa. And I put it in kind of quotation marks because it's not really Tegucigalpa at all. It's actually way outside of Tegucigalpa, almost in the center of the country in a city called Comayagua. The reason I point that out is because especially for like Yaramangila teachers, it's actually not that far away at all, okay? It's actually not that far away at all. And it's supposed to open on October 15th is when it's supposed to open. Now, for Christmas flights, that does actually mean that it could be a potential option for you. The other super cool thing about it is that from Santa Rosa, Gracias, and from Yaramangila, you could take a public bus and it would drop you right off in front of the airport, which is sweet. For literally like $5, you could get to the airport, which is super cool. And so it is a possibility. I think San Pedro still may be cheaper. I don't know, but I would, at least for your own sakes, you can look at both options. And as you guys kind of go forward, I'm hoping prices kind of come down because it's supposed to be, they're billing it as like, this is going to be the new major airport. So whether or not that's truth or reality, I don't know. But supposedly it's supposed to open on October 15th. So it may not be October 15th, but hopefully by December, it would be open. And so I think for like Christmas types of flights, it would be a possibility. So I'm just throwing it out there for you. It's just an FYI. I know there's just a few of you who are probably looking ahead already and just thinking things through. From Yaramangila, it's actually shaves about an hour off of your trip, which is kind of nice. It makes it a pretty easy trip. And so either way, just letting you guys know that just as kind of a general FYI kind of situation. Okay. All right.
Curious.
Yeah.
So when looking for those flight tickets, is that technically under the Tegus Airport or is it under Comayagua?
It would be under Tegus. It's still going to be, I think it'll still be known as the Tegucigalpa Airport. I think it'll technically still be known. You know, it's kind of one of those crazy situations where I think they are going to call it Tegucigalpa, but it's no Tegus. Like, it's way outside of Tegucigalpa, you know? And for us, like Cassie, what's sweet for us is you could be like, hey, I'm just going to drop me off at the bus station. I'll go to the airport by myself, and it'll drop me off, and you walk in and, you know, $5 and you're done. Super nice, you know? So, either way, yeah, I think it would just be under the Tegucigalpa Airport. I can't imagine I know once the Comayagua one opens, Tegus has to close. It's what the contract states. So.
Got you. Okay. I just wanted to see. I was curious.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so either way, just wanted to kind of give you guys that FYI. All right, let me jump into my last little bit. I want to talk you through just what to expect as far as orientation goes. Okay, just so that you guys know. August 4th, we have staff will be arriving in. A lot of our staff will be arriving into we will be spending the night in San Pedro Sula. I'll probably put us up in a halfway pretty nice hotel. If I have my way, we're gonna stay in a nice hotel. And then on August 5th, we'll do breakfast, and then we're gonna head out to Yaramanguila, okay? Then we're gonna head out to Yaramanguila. Know that we're not gonna try to do any orientation. We're gonna make sure food is taken care of, okay? The school, all of this, I want you guys to know that the school's taken care of, okay? You don't have to be like, so I have to pay for my, you know, I'm paying for my food, I'm paying for this hotel. No, okay, that's not what's happening. ALCS is taking care of this all, okay? Just so you guys know. Don't worry about the money part these first few days. We're gonna help you guys, all right? So just so you guys are understanding, okay? Friday and Saturday, we are kind of planning on doing our orientation. We'll probably be doing a lot of it at school. Part of the reason we're doing it as YAM is because we've got wireless put in the entire school. And so we're able to do it there pretty easily. And I can do some of the Canvas stuff there if we need to talk you through some things. Sunday, we travel to all of our individual schools at that point. This obviously could change slightly. There could be, you know, depending on how we work transportation and things like that, but we would travel to our individual schools at that point, okay? And so this is just kind of what things are generally looking like. If you want to know exactly what restaurants I'm going to take you to, I'm not going to tell you. It's going to be a surprise. Don't worry about it. And so there's going to be a few things that I get to play with and have some fun with, all right? So when I get to put things on the schools tab, I like to have some fun. So, either way, just so you guys know, this is kind of what the first few days are looking like. Obviously, we're going to try to get you guys into houses as soon as possible. I know there's a lot of transitioning going on, and that's why we're going to try to meet with you guys ahead of time a little bit. Okay, we're going to try to meet with you guys a little bit. So, yeah, so this is kind of what we're looking at as far as arrival goes, just kind of what expectations are and what we're looking at that way. Okay. All right, so I think I've gone about 35 to 40 minutes at this point. I think I'm a little over what I wanted to do. However, I do want to take just a few minutes. I know there might be individual questions. You're going to say, you know, what about, you know, this housing option or that, or, and I want to address those things, but just maybe not tonight, okay? And so I want to specifically just, if there's anything about the arrival into the country that you guys have questions about that I can answer, I would love to be able to answer any questions you had about arrival. All right. I know there's quite a few returning teachers here, and so there's a few of you who are like, where in the country already? So we've already checked this box off the list. So, all right, well, that's what's coming up. All right, I'm gonna stop my recording now just so that it doesn't go on forever for all of the other teachers as they have to watch it and feel like they get bored out of their mind. So I'm gonna stop it right now.